Hey guys, welcome back to Vince-Vell Customs. So today I'm sharing with you a work of progress video. It's kind of like just like coming up with an idea of how to tweak this base for the Sideshow Collectibles Wonder Woman statue. As a custom I'm working on, I like the statue a lot. I like the base to a point. This is kind of what I'm changing about the base. I like the idea that, at Themyscira, this big pillar is broken and she's standing on top of that. I think that's a really cool idea. But I don't understand this piece and this piece embedded into this, and then there's rocks all over here. This kind of, I get lost on this. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm getting a little bit closer for you guys. So as you can see, that doesn't make sense. It seems like they sculpted the figure, and then they were like, oh, well, let's just throw this cool piece on top of it. If anything, what I would have liked to have seen is the pillar come straight up, like that, and then broken around, and then you could throw the other pieces on top of there, the helmet, the sword, and all that stuff. I'm not really, so it's kind of a little bit weird. So what I want to do is, for this custom, I am going to do I want to, she's so tall too, and you can't really fit her in certain areas, and I want to kind of bring her down a little bit, but I want to give her more of a look like she's walking on top of a broken pillar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop her off the base, and then I'm going to turn her in this direction like that, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up, and I'll have to resculpt. The problem is this statue, this base, is all hollow. Now when you, I did already on one base already, and I'm going to show you what to do. When you Dremel out around here, and you Dremel here and over here and here, all of a sudden this whole piece is off, but it's all hollow. There's no meat in here whatsoever. So what I have to do is I have to come up with an idea of to secure this back foot and this foot, and then being able to sculpt the base with it still being hollow, because if you're going to fill this up, it takes a lot of material and it becomes very, very heavy. Now you can still kind of keep it semi-hollow, but still make it look like a base with supporting this foot and this foot. So the main thing what I'm going to do is go into the garage when I get a chance. I'm going to Dremel out this base. We'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like inside the base. And then from there, I'm going to show you how I set up the pieces with some other materials that I'm going to use. And it's going to be, we'll go over all that stuff and everything. I'm going to be using some of the fiberglass wrap that you would use for a broken finger, arm. I'm also going to be using some resin pieces, the extra pieces I have. And I'm going to be using this stuff called Smooth-On's Freeform Air stuff. It's kind of something new I've been working with, and it's really cool to work with, and I think you guys will like the outcome when I come out with it. So, I'm going to go drill this out, we'll come back, and I'll kind of show you what I'm going for. But I think, in the long run, if she's kind of walking up the pillar like that, I think that's going to look a little bit better. It's kind of like she's at Themyscira, this pillar's broken, and she's going to come and kick somebody's ass type thing. So, that's my whole idea. So alright, we'll go Dremel that out and we'll be back. Alright guys, it's the next day and you can kind of see how this is all hollow. This is the top of the Wonder Woman base, and you can see how it's hollow casted. So, what they do is they have it turning, and you can see all the resins just slopping around and going all over the place and everything. So, it gives you an idea that once this piece is off, that's how hollow it is. So, you're looking at, if you hit this, fairly decent with, a corner of a shelf, another statue, you're probably going to put a hole in this thing. But for this purposes, we're going to get the Wonder Woman set up. So, this right here is just a Dixie cup that I've been filling with resin, and there's a lot of pieces of, broken resin and Aves, dried up Aves in here. So, as I was doing up casting and stuff here and there, I just keep filling this thing up, and it's just, it's filler. It's just a filler piece, so it's going to be solid. So what I have right here is I've been done sculpting for the day. Have a little bit of extra A's left. So basically all I'm going to do is take this A's, throw it like right here. It's just like a placeholder to keep it in set, because we're still going to do some more stuff. So here's the Wonder Woman. I have to be careful. I was doing a little sculpting to her. So she's going to go like this, kind of in the base. That's kind of how I want her to go. Kind of see it a little bit here. So she's going to be like, it's all going to be broken up and she's stepping over it type thing. So I have to make sure that it's going to be secured and heavy here, and it's going to be secured over here. So this piece right here is going to go just like this. So, but I mean, I'm going to be filling it all up and everything. So this is going to set like this. I got to get a lot more broken stuff. So the key areas are, it's going to be thick and heavy here, and thick and heavy here for the feet. All this can still be hollow, but it's still got to be able to sculpt around it. So once I get the you know, all the pieces filled up and how I show you how I'm going to do all this, we'll start working up and building it and then sculpting the broken pillar. So it just kind of gives you the idea. This is what it looks like. This is what we got to do, and go from there. Alright guys, so what I did right here is I have some just, you know, pieces of dried up Aves that I've used for sculpting in the past, and I use this stuff for filler whenever I don't use the Aves at the end of the night, and it's just a couple pieces. So it's kind of like building the armature for here for the foot that's up, and the armature for here that the foot's down. So these two pieces secured, and we still have all this hollowness. Now this right here is smooth on 305 resin, where you mix the equal amounts of A and B. You mix them together really well, and then you pour it in, and after like a half hour it cures. Now I did a video a while back on how I make generic bases. I'll link it in the video, and I've been using this resin a lot for making the generic bases and stuff, but I've had this for so long that this stuff only has a shelf life for like a year, so I just need to start getting rid of this. So I've been using this stuff for like filling in bases and filling in anything else I need to do that's hollow, just to kind of get rid of it and use it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix A and B together, and I'm going to pour over on here, and I'm going to pour over here, and it's going to pool in at the bottom, but then it's going to cure around, so it's going to lock this piece in, it's going to lock that piece in, and therefore I can start building up on here and building up on here, and then I'll show you how I build up everything here, and it's going to be secured with the 2 feet going here, and I don't have to worry about any pressure going on the hollowness and breaking. So we got a nice build up of an armature going up, so she's secured, and that's what I really want to work on. So we're going to mix some equal amounts, put them in the thing, do it together real quick, and let it sit, and it gives you guys an idea how it works out like in about a half hour. Alright guys, so as you saw, I pretty much threw some extra pieces of resin in there and everything. Well, the Aves. Basically what I did is in the cup here, I was hitting it with the blow dryer to heat set it. And resin works better when you heat set it, like a hot box type stuff. And so I would heat it in the cup, and I would kind of pour it over and get it thicker up here. So this way it would fall into the grooves and secure those pieces, as well as secure all these now. So the reason why I threw in a couple extra pieces was just to give the resin, like, you know, the resin a little bit more height to it. You know, you fill it up a little bit more. So it's going to be a little bit heavier now. And all these pieces and these pieces, everything's locked in now. When they let this sit for a couple hours, of course, I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I got to get everything else set up within another day or so. But it just gives you an idea now that this foot's going to be secured with nice you know, support, and this foot will too once you start filling it all up. So we'll come back once I'm starting ready to do the next steps. Okay guys, it's been about 2 or 3 days. The past couple nights I had some extra Aves that I had left over, so I used it over here and I built it up. So it just kind of just helps me with a little bit more of an armature. So Wonder Woman's going to go like this into the base. She's leaning forward a little bit at the moment. If you look down her head on, she's kind of going forward. I want to bring her back. So this foot over in here, it's still got some, you know, I got to still build up on this foot, which is fine. But what I got is my fiberglass wrap. I've done a video on this in the past with a Dark Phoenix head bust. I'll link that in the video for you guys. We got my rubber gloves, my scissors, glues, and basically what I'm going to start doing is cut a sheet and then wrap it over. Use my glue to kind of set it with the Insta-Set. And then by the time it's dry, it's going to give me like an armature, but like, you know, so I still have the hollowness. But still each foot is going to be secured into the base, and then I can build on and around it in here. So I'm not going to do it like in real-time video. We'll do a fast video on it because it's going to be very messy working with this stuff, and it takes a little bit of a time. But it gives you an idea of kind of how I build up a hollow base. Okay, so as you pretty much saw, I used a piece of wood because as I was sculpting, it wasn't staying to where I wanted it because I kind of wanted it to come up this way. And I used that piece of stick just to kind of bend it down. And as that started to harden and I started to layer it, it started to work out. So now it's going to be like an eggshell. Now, it's not completely set. What I'm going to use is I'm going to go and get my 2-part resin, which I'll show you. I'm going to use the 300 smooth on. And I'm going to pour it on here just to kind of create this, like, the resin's going to seep through all these little tiny cracks and bubbles, and it's going to make it harder. And then what I'll do is, as I'm sculpting, I'll be using, you know, at nights and stuff, I'll use my extra A's and Magic Sculpt, and I'll secure the edges around here. And as you can see, you know, it's not completely flush, so I'll kind of drill around here and then sculpt up. So it's all going to be secured. Now, the reason why I started throwing this heavy here, and I just started throwing the wrap around it, is just going to help me texturize areas and just kind of build up. So it's just you know, once you open up the roll, you got to use it anyway. So it's gonna, the more you use, the better off you are anyway. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to drill around in here again anyway when I set this foot down here because I filled up a little bit too much, but that's fine. And then I'm going to have to build up over here too because I need to get that foot set up anyway. But pouring the 2-part resin on is going to work out. So even though this is kind of still curing at the moment, really not a big deal. I've done this before. I'm going to go over, we'll get the 2-part resin, we'll mix it up, and I'll just start pouring around here. And you can kind of see how it'll start to kind of give everything a nice solid, like, yeah, everything will just come together a little bit more.